Well, howdy, 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 howdy. This is The Views Expressed. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, for the 30th of November 2012. Can you believe tomorrow is December already? Holy crap. 13 more days, or 22 more days, folks. So anyway, this is The Views Expressed on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Open Forum Friday today, so if you're listening live, pop into the chat room and bring up a subject. We'll talk about it. I gave some people a way for to Skype in, and I'll tell you how to do that. If you have Skype, please go to contacts and put in ULCREV 62, and I will accept your contact info and all of that. So, and as you can tell, my cell phone's going crazy. Anywho, we hope to have a guest. Did get confirmation yesterday that Angel Clark will be on the show today. And I'm so laid back on this show, I just want to put it out there. I'm so laid back on the show that when I have a guest on, I just tell them, call in whenever you feel like. Because, I just, there's regiment, there's this, it's, and I'm very professional when it comes to this. I'm very, I'm focused on what I'm doing, but, I'm also very lenient when it comes to certain things. And, you don't have to call in right at the top of the hour. You can call in a little bit before. You can call in a half hour after we start it. I mean, it's no big deal. Really. So anyway, I really want people to understand that even though I'm very professional doing this, I'm kind of laid back. I get on my rants. I get on my soapbox every so often. But hey, don't we all? So, hey, you want to check out the website? Please do. It's over there at freeamericaradio.wix.com/theviewsexpressed. And check out all the good stuff over there. Christmas is coming up. Well, if we make it past December 21st, we will. I plan on waking up on December 22nd, trust me. I'll be on air, you know what I mean? Probably that night, Give me an example. Just remember this. Y2K. Remember? Big, yeah, but yeah, Christmas is coming up. Go to the Liberty and Freedom Network store. Promote your patriotism and buy stuff for your family and promote Liberty and Freedom Network and help us out, keep the webpage up and the show going, and that would be very much appreciated. And before we go to the break here, I want to remind you that you can always email us at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. If you want to follow us, you can. Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Like the page. That's where I go and I grab all kinds of news all over the place. I put it up there and then I talk about it. That's what I do. I have my opinions and so do you. So, but anyway, I am going to go to break here, and this is the 30th of November, 2012, and this is The Views Expressed, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network, radiofreedom.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show. Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
We went to the streets to ask people, what do you like about Doc FM?
Oh, well, I think he's sexy. He has a very sexy voice, and he makes my headphones tingle.
I think the doctor is very smart. Everything he tells you, you must learn it, because it is smartness to know. Plus, he plays my favorite music. He plays like the 80s and the 70s and the 44s and the 62s.
J'ai pas eu une seule occasion de rester sans rien faire depuis que je suis arrivé à Camelot. Je suis trop occupé à courir derrière Arthur. Fais ci Merlin, fais ça Merlin. Et quand je cours pas derrière Arthur, je fais des corvées pour vous. Et quand je fais pas ça, j'accomplis mon...
Doc FM on Spreaker.com.
Well, it's no secret that Doctor won't play none of that countrified music, so I don't really listen to him that much, but when I do, it's a hoedown. The first time that I listened to the Doctor, he was making fun of the British. After I got over my attitude, I came back and listened to him. He's wonderful and raucous.
Listen to Doc FM every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
Yes. This is the Liberty and Freedom Network, and I am Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, and you're listening to The Views Expressed. Now, a lot of things are going on, so let's head in to the news, shall we? Go over to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. If you haven't liked the page yet, please do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go on down here to a big piece of news from A Sheep No More. This was posted by them on Facebook, A Sheep No More. I do like the page. Says Feinstein fake indefinite detention not only remains, but got worse. Okay. You can go, this is a big picture of her with those, the eyes. And the picture says, with the Senate passage of the Feinstein Amendment, supporters of due process have been cheering. The media has been reporting the amendments as, quote, ending indefinite detention, unquote. They're wrong. It's a head fake, rosy language intended to distract you from efforts to oppose NDAA detention powers while not only continuing to practice, but affirming others at the same time. Now, it says here, it's posted by Blake Philippi over at A Sheep and No More. With the Senate passage of Feinstein, Feinstein Amendment, supporters of due process have been cheering. It goes on to say the media has been reporting amendment ending indefinite detention. They're wrong at best. The amendment is a constitutional fumble by Feinstein intended to do something good, but with legal loopholes so wide it will end up causing even more harm. At worst, it's a head fake, rosy language intended to distract you from efforts to oppose NDAA detention powers while not only continuing the practice, but affirming others at the same time. Blake Philippi's analysis clears up the fog. The proposed language in the 2013 NDAA and the recent Feinstein Amendment do not fix the multiple constitutional infirmities in Section 1021 of the 2012 NDAA. Unfortunately, Congress is now poised to reaffirm the president's ability to prosecute persons within the USA, though through military tribunals, potentially allow continued indefinite detention without charge or trial, and do nothing to limit the practice of extraordinary rendition. The most troubling provision of the Section 1021 of the 2012 NDAA provide that all persons within the USA, including U.S. citizens, whom the President unilaterally determines, quote, substantially supported the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, or quote-unquote associated forces may be designated as enemy combatants subject to indefinite detention, extraordinary rendition, the transfer to foreign jurisdictions or entities, or military tribunals. Importantly, there is no knowing and willful requirement to one's quote-unquote substantial support. While the indefinite detention language of 2012 NDAA purports to allow no due process whatsoever, it is inadequately tempered by the Supreme Court precedent that requires limited due process rights for those designated as enemy combatants subject to indefinite detention. By way of background, in Hamdi versus Rumsfeld, the Supreme Court ruled that Hamdi, a U.S. citizen captured on a foreign battlefield and held indefinitely within United States jurisdiction, generally possessed the right to a meaningful opportunity to challenge his enemy combatant status before a neutral military decision maker. And it goes into other court cases as well. And scroll on down, you can read, then came the NDAA. Talks about some other things in there about the Sixth Amendment, about, all of that. So check that out yourself. I'm just covering some of the highlights here. The NDAA purports to extend the president's war powers to the U.S. homeland. All persons within the U.S., citizen and non-citizen alike, would now be subject to the law of war with regards to allegations of supporting terrorism, including the same indefinite detention, limited due process rights articulated in Hamdi and the, I can't pronounce that name, as well as military tribunals. Sorry, silence. I know. Radio, bad. No, bad silence. Dead air, dead air. Anyway, just messaging somebody. Somebody sent me a Skype message, so I'm replying to them. It goes on to say, after the obvious outcry of the citizens and states alike, Congress is now poised to pass 2013 with what at first blush appear to be fixes to the indefinite detention provision of 2012 NDAA. However, the proposed text in the recent Feinstein Amendment may do little to restrict the president's homeland war powers. Goes on. It goes on. It just... Basically, it's if you play football, you know it's a fake. You know, the quarterback gets it, goes to the left, fakes there, goes to the right, hands it off to somebody else. Pretty much that's what it is. So, you know, we're not supposed to look. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. You know, that kind of thing. I just I don't know. It's. I look at it this way. You and I, we the people, have to stand up and say no more. Okay? We have to stand up and say no more. Love it. Love live radio when the phone rings, right? And there we go. I like caller ID too. So anyway. Now, again, like I said, if you play football, it's a fake. You know you went one way but handed it off to somebody else. Basically what it is and what I'm seeing is a trend coming out of the White House. And the trend really is the president is going to send out his little, talking points throughout various people like Dianne Feinstein or, whatever. And he's going to get these people to do his bidding, but then he's going to turn around and do whatever he wants. He signed the 2012 NDAA on December 31st, 2011. So, I mean, behind closed doors without anybody, knowing about it. Plus, he signed executive orders like crazy, and don't believe everything on Snopes.com. Okay, thank you. I just read something from there, and it's a piece of crap. I mean, they're like the, National Enquirer of the internet. I don't like them. Can you tell? But anyway, so he signs, not get this. The UN is getting into dictating to the president what he should and should not do with Congress. And, well, that's a whole different ball game in itself. So, what do we do? We, the people, have the power. Now, I always say that at the end of the show. We do. And people are going, well, you need to call your state legislature. You need to do this. No. We need to make enough waves out in the street like they're doing with Greece and France and all this. And people are out, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are out in the streets, tens of thousands of people in the streets. We need to do that and say enough's enough. We want our country back. And we need to do this. Going to your legislature ain't going to do anything because you tell your legislature, say no to this, say no to that. They're going to go, okay, yeah, we can do that. Somebody up top above them is going to come down from Washington, D.C. and go, no, you're not going to do what the people want you to do. You're going to do what we tell you to do. Well, excuse me, conflict right there. How do you think a civil war started back in the 1800s? Come on. I mean, it goes from there. I really think, in my opinion, that it is time for us to yell even louder than we have been in the past. And it's a metaphor for getting our voices heard. Okay? I just got a message from Angel Clark. She should be calling in at soon. So, the FAA, wonderful people over there, drone operators have zero privacy obligations. Lovely. We'll get into that story as well. And there was a story out about the socialist leader of France that came out, or the socialist minister over there in France of all that. He came out and he basically just said they're going to do exactly what Obama's doing to America. We're doing what Obama does. We're just doing what Obama does. That's right. Yeah. You get to the point where all you want to do is just scream and scream really, really, really loud. I don't know. I mean, I just, my opinion is that we need to put our feet on the ground. We need to understand what self-responsibility is, and we need to really get out and do what needs to be done. Now, on the opposite side of that coin, there are people who don't want to do that. There are people who want to get out, sit around and get all the handouts from the government. How do you think Obama won? He won because of handouts. Obama phones, that kind of crap. What was that? There was one article that I read, or something I heard about an article where a woman had 30 phones from the government. and she was selling them. Yeah, I think they finally caught her. I'm not sure, but it's ridiculous, you know? And I agree with some other talk show hosts that say people are more inclined. There are people out there that are more inclined to just want to sit on their butts and do nothing and, you know, collect and get services from the government. And they actually make more money doing that than if they went out to a 9-to-5 job. I mean, it's really, what? This country was built on the blood, sweat, and tears of our grandfathers, great-grandfathers, all of that. But now the generation coming up and the ones before that really don't understand what hard work is. I know people that don't want to pick up a shovel, don't want to dig a hole. I've done that. I come from a background of construction and warehousing. They don't want to do any of that. Oh my God, it's hard work. Oh, I'm dirty. Oh, let me take my cell phone and play Angry Birds. You know, it's amazing. We've become this entitlement, this entitlement generation. You know, I know people who were on welfare many years ago in the 70s and early 80s who got off of it and said, you know what, I can't do this. I have more self-respect if I go out and work. I feel good about myself, and I don't like taking from the government, so I'm going to go out. And they do. Some of them I know have created their own businesses, have gone out and made their living that way. And it's like, what, you know, it just gets to the point where, you know, we have to take responsibility for ourselves, okay? We do. We need to take responsibility for ourselves. And we really need to pay attention to how we really need to pay attention to the government and how they're treating us. Because we can sit around all day long and yell and scream and criticize them for what they're not doing for us. We want more. Well, that's those people sitting on their butts getting the Obama phone. You know, and they're the ones screwing this, you know, country on from one aspect, because here we are paying taxes and they're just sitting around getting nothing. Wait a minute. That's like me walking to my next door neighbor saying, hey, I see you're sitting around on the weekends doing nothing. Here's $10. And then walking away. I just gave that, whatever he wants to do with that $10 is what he does, you know. It's pretty much that way. But anyway, I don't know. Go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check out the articles that I have there, such as Top Gun meets Terminator. Autonomous U.S. stealth drone completes first test launch. There's a video associated with the article. Also, I talked earlier about getting out and protesting. Mass protest in Egypt to challenge Islamist president. He's taking more power upon himself. Okay? Taking a lot more power upon him. He's saying, I want more power. And from other fringe, I don't want to say fringe, that denotes a whole different, you know, type of people. But in some reports that I've seen, and some, you know, wording somewhere I have seen and heard, that this guy's trying to set himself up as another pharaoh. Okay? Now, if you go back in history, you were either born into the priesthood in the Egyptian culture, or you were born and, you know, given all the rights and privileges of a pharaoh, and you were king. Hello, King Tut. They murdered him because, yeah, he was murdered. They said, oh, well, he fell off a chariot and the thing, and he broke his leg. Blah, blah. No, he was murdered. Because he wanted to do, you know, he was young, and he wanted to, you know, he wanted to do something for that country. And, you know, obviously they didn't want it. And it was said his high priest was the one behind his murder. So I don't know. You know, I wasn't there. But you look at the country now. Look at Egypt now. If you go to Google Earth and you go to Cairo, Egypt, or Egypt in general, and you look around, there's a lot of land over there. You know? So I believe that those people in Egypt right now protesting, those people are a shining example of what we need to do in this country. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. We need to get up off our butts and go out and protest. We seriously do. Because if we don't, what are we going to accomplish if we sit around and let Washington, D.C. run roughshod over our freedoms and liberties? If they shove them down the toilet, what are we going to do? I mean, I always use this analogy or this scenario. I'm sure there's somebody standing over a paper shredder in the Oval Office, and all President Obama has to do is just signal him, and he'll just shove it in the paper shredder. If it's not there already, you know what I mean? I mean, seriously, we have to do something. We really have to do something. And it gets... Do we have enough power to change things? Yes, because we can. 535 congressmen and women in Washington, D.C., and there's over 315 million people in the United States of America, and probably 220 or 200,000 or 198 million or something like that. 200,000, 198 million, something like that, are, here legally. They were born and raised here. I mean, yeah. Do the math. You got 500 people against 200 million. Hello. We understand secession because you look back at your great-great-grandfather or somebody in the Civil War, and that's what they fought about. It wasn't slavery so much as it was secession. The South wanted to be the South. Jefferson Davis said so. But then he saw his butt getting kicked, and he's going, I think I'll change my mind. So it seriously, we need to stand on the 10th Amendment. We need to stand on the First Amendment. We need to stand on the Constitution, not literally, but like Obama's doing, but we really need to stand up and say, here, Washington, D.C., you've put your hand on the Bible and you pledged to protect this. What are you doing? We need to hold them accountable. We need to make them answer our questions. Hey, I have even heard, I've heard that people are saying once they talk to their state legislatures and the state legislatures in their areas, see the what's happening, right, with the people in their state, that there will be another revolution. But, where does that leave us if we have to go to that, step over the line and create another revolution in this country? Where does that leave us? What does that make us? It makes us people who want freedom and liberty. It makes us who we are, So that's because we, the people, have the power. We are America. That's who we are. Okay? So as soon as... Well, hello there.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going good. I know we keep missing one another. You weren't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well. My God.
I know. It's been like nonstop.
Ooh, you're
So
kinda...
are we live?
Yeah, we are. And you're kind of skipping around there on the sound, but Skype's giving me trouble too, so...
Yeah, I mean, it could most likely be that. It's I think pretty much the only option for a connection for us. So
Yeah.
I think that we'll just have to make do if we can.
There we go. Sounds better now. I don't know what you did, but.
Well, I stopped moving.
Oh, there you go.
Right, it helps.
That does.
So I want to before we get into discussing me and my show, I want to talk a little bit about your show.
Oh, okay.
Because let's do some self-promotion for you here.
Okay.
Your show has grown exponentially, I think, since the last time we've talked.
Yes, it has. There's over, I believe, 6,500 followers. I don't know how many listen, but yeah, it's grown quite a bit. And I'm like, cool, okay. I usually challenge. Yeah, I usually challenge people and put it up on Facebook and tell them, hey, can we get this number by the end of next week? So.
Oh, that's a good idea, but it's just it's really nice to see you doing so well, and I wanted to take a moment to just acknowledge that. It's nice to see people who work hard get some of their due, and that's kind of how I see it, is you getting some of your due. You work very hard for your show, and you put a lot of work into it. Your show is consistent, it is regular, and it's nice to see. And you Spreaker for a very long time.
Yeah, you're cutting out again, but that's no big deal. We can we can go from there. But yeah, I've been here at Spreaker for since coming up on a year now. I think this month.
Yeah, and it's not. I think because some of us who have been there for longer, I think that we get more listeners just based on the fact that we are established, and it's nice to see Spreaker grow as well, because they have a fantastic product. I mean, what they do is great, and the price is affordable, and they give many of us chances to get the word out and to reach people, and they're constantly doing things like integrating with other social media sites, which, it lets us share our shows so much easier.
Yeah, it does. I was over at another network, Blog Talk Radio. They are expensive, but they're not as good.
The audio for Blog Talk is just horrible. It sounds like a poorly connected phone call.
Yeah. And I, not to go into technical things, but yeah, it's really bad. And I know a host that is over there or has his own network, but he's like me, broadcasts through, Blog Talk. And I told him, I said, you'll spend half the money getting better quality of sound if you go to Spreaker. He's like, well, I'm established over here. And I'm like, well, put your podcasts up. I know you do. I just downloaded yours, and I'm going to, from the other day, so I'm going to put yours up. It's the sound is so much better. The quality of some of the hosts that I've heard are just so much better. And of course, you got your nitwits out there too, but I don't listen to them.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't listen to most of the people that are on Spreaker because what I have found is that it's easier to just stay out of it. I've seen a lot of people that they start like catfights on Spreaker, and it's kind of laughable to see that kind of behavior. I mean, we're here to talk. I guess, it's your show. You talk about whatever you want to talk about. But it's always frustrating for me to see people just, picking like each other and calling each other names and criticizing other people's shows. Because it belittles them more than it does the people that they're trying to insult. It makes them look childish and immature.
Yeah, I don't get caught up in the drama, but I just, I give my word about it, and I did last week on one of my shows, and I named names, and I said, literally the bottom line is whoever is going to be out there criticizing or trying to expose people, I mean, they're just going to look like fools in the end of it,
Basically, yeah, I don't know. When I first joined Spreaker, they had a lot of issues like that. There were cat fights going on all over the place, and I would watch them show up on my news feed and just be like, wow, wow, it's crazy to see this happen or that happen. And some of the insults that were flying around were just laughable almost. So I decided then that I was going to step back and, if you have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. That's the avenue that I take. And I'm not saying this to criticize you or whatever actions it was that you took. I'm not going to do that at all, just to clarify.
Right. It's and what I call the Spreaker drama. That's anywhere. It's not just here. It's anywhere. I've seen, I've heard stuff over at Blog Talk, over at TalkShoe.com. And it's not just here. It's everywhere. And it all stems from ego. And when you get your ego in the way and start thinking that you're better than everybody, you're going to look like the fool. You're going to be the court gesture, and everybody's going to look at you going, "You're not funny."
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. I think the ego does have a very big, a big part of it. I think that some people just cannot, they can't take it. And, the other thing as well is that I personally, I'm the first one to admit it, I think that people who are in radio and broadcasting, I think that we're all a little bit insane, not in a bad way, right? Not the insane way, but we have very large egos. I think that we're narcissistic, because why else would we think that other people want to listen to us for long periods of time? Like it's one of the things that comes with being a sociopath is narcissism, and I think that we all have that. And it's not a bad thing. Trust me, it's not. But some people just can't take having their ego crushed. Basically, they can't take a competition or people being honest.
Yeah. And I tell people this is a no holds barred show. I will tell it like it is, and if I have a feeling about something, I'm going to give it with both barrels. And I think, and you're right, I mean, I come from a theater background, I come from a music background, so we do have that narcissistic feel of, oh, look at me, but then again, I don't live in that. I'm kind of, I do my thing, I go home, like you do your show, you're off, you go home,
Right. Yeah, definitely. So, what's on the agenda for tonight? What are we discussing?
Well, I just heard the other day, actually, I just saw the video up on YouTube with John Boehner talking about this fiscal cliff and how he believes that the Dems just want to drive us over the cliff. I said yesterday on my show, on Facebook, I posted it's both of them. The Republicans are driving the car, the Dems are pushing from behind, and they're both going to go over. And either way, no matter who's in the car, it's going over. But I don't know what John Boehner's thinking, really.
Well, I think that a part of it has to do with this partisan aspect they have. The Republicans always think that the Democrats are wrong. The Democrats always think that the Republicans are wrong. And for me, it's kind of laughable because I know they're both wrong. It's like the Republicans attack people at 38%. The Democrats want to tax them at 35%. Either way, we're talking about a difference of 3%. You're still going to have to pay more than 30% in taxes. So for Boehner to say such a thing, the reason why he's saying it is because he wants to point his finger and he wants to say, well, you can't blame me for this. You can't possibly blame me for this, which is, it's a complete and total load of crap. They're both wrong, but they're never going to admit it. They're going to sit there and point fingers and play the blame game and try and act like it's all the other side's fault.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when Boehner became Speaker of the House. And he's like, "Yes, I'm going to do this," and I'm going, "No, you're not, dude. I know it. It's just not going to happen." And sure enough, it didn't. He didn't change much, but he played it off like, "Hey, look what I'm doing. I did this," but behind the scenes, it's going, "It's not working." I saw that.
Well, it's all right. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, I saw how, and I see this with all those people in Washington, except for a handful like Gary Johnson or Rand Paul or something. Most of them are sitting there looking into the camera or going on the press conference and saying, yes, we've done this, and the Democrats didn't do this. And then Democrats are saying, well, we've done this, but the Republicans are stopping us. And it all has to do with, literally, like you said, it's the blame game. It's like, well, they're not. One of these folks are, feeling like little kids. They're going to pick up their ball and go home. It's like, we didn't get this accomplished, and it's their fault. I
actually compare it to. Let's take for an example. Have you ever seen the show Hoarders?
Yes.
All right, so let's compare it to the television show Hoarders. You're in someone's house, and they have a path from the bed to the bathroom. You can't close the bathroom door. They have a path from the bed to the refrigerator. You can't open the fridge all the way. And they have a path from the refrigerator to the front door of their home. Every other bit of their home is completely and totally filled with boxes and trash and grime and just old newspapers and a bunch of crap that has accumulated over the years. And this person is talking to an advisor about cleaning out their house. And one advisor says, I think we need to get rid of these three stacks. So this stack of old newspapers, because they're 20 years old. Obviously, they're no longer relevant. We need to get rid of this stack of old magazines because we're never going to look at them again. And you need to get rid of this trash bag filled with cookie boxes that, the cookies are covered in mold. And the other person says, you know what, that's draconian. You obviously get rid of the moldy cookies, and you're going to get rid of the newspapers because they're no longer relevant. But this stack of magazines, man, these National Geographics are collector's items. And so you shouldn't get rid of those. And the hoarder is the person trying to decide, which advisor should I listen to? Now, when you hear that story, you think, would you really sit and just get rid of these three stacks of things when you're in a house that's completely and totally filled with possessions that it's so horrible that people have to put gas masks on when they walk in, right? Like, that's all that you care about is getting rid of these three stacks? And so that's kind of a way to look at it because our economy is that giant stack of crap, and one side is the Democrats, the other is the Republicans. So they're not willing to basically do anything to really fix the problem. They just want to make it look like they're trying to fix the problem.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a good analogy. I mean, if you go to debtclock.org, usdebtclock.org, you'll see the debt that we're not going to be able to pay back. And then when you look at the real actual numbers, it's way in the quadrillions, in derivatives, fake money, all that. And did you notice that after Thanksgiving, the day later, that Friday morning, the Treasury borrowed more money? And
I saw that. But see, here's the most important thing about the imagery and tale of the hoarder is that the hoarder listens to both of these two talking and is going to agree with one of them because it's not that bad. When you're in a house that's filled to the tops, getting rid of two stacks of things is probably a lot easier for them. 2 or 3 stacks of things is a lot easier for them than emptying out everything else in the house. So they're going to go through the action and then think, well, okay, you know what, that wasn't so bad, that's been handled, it's good, it's done. But in actuality, it's not good, it's not done. But the person or the voter or the U.S. citizens, they feel good about what happened.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's like, oh, they're doing something, but they're not doing everything. You know, they're not, frankly, Washington, D.C. is not doing what the people want. You know, so it's and if you reverse that, the House is stacked, the White House, the Congress, it's just stacked with garbage all over the place, and we're the ones going in there going, hey, I think you should do this. They're going, you know, so yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, well, you know, the other thing is, it's I don't think that a lot of people really know what they want. I think that they make assumptions based on what they think should happen or based on what they hear the talking heads say, but they don't necessarily know the truth of the situation or the repercussions of their actions. And it's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. I think that people are easily duped. They have a problem because they trust politicians, which is laughable, but they do, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like, you know, trusting the fox guarding a hen house ain't working.
Yeah, well, you know, I sat this past election cycle and I watched this guy run for office in the state of Delaware, which is my state where I live. And here's this guy, he's running for office. He's 22 years old. And I talked about him in detail on my own show, but and I'm not going to get into his past discretions or the things that I had discussed there. But what I will say is this guy was running for the position of clerk of the peace. In the state of Delaware, I think that we are one of the few states that actually has this. We have an elected official who's the person that marries people. And the clerk of the peace, the office itself, it brings in quite a bit of money because you have to pay for your marriage licenses and so forth. But so it's an office, and the office, I think, employs maybe 7 people, right? And they bring in a good bit of money, and the clerk of the peace oversees the office and then marries people. Now, in the state of Delaware, gay marriage or civil unions became legal in 2012. In the legislative session of 2011, they legalized it, and the very first gay marriage in the state happened on January 1st, 2012. So the conservatives, as you can imagine, were very, very upset to see this happen. They don't like gay marriage. It's, marriage should be between a man and a woman and all those talking points, whatever. So they were very upset to see this happen. And this election cycle, the Republican candidate is this 22-year-old guy, and he says, well, I'm going to fight for traditional marriage in the state of Delaware. He says, this is my promise. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight for traditional marriage. I'm going to protect traditional marriage. Well, the clerk of the peace office has no say whatsoever in any kind of laws, and gay marriage is already legal in the state. Yeah. So here's this guy, 22 years old. I mean, that's how young these political wannabes start. 22 years old, and making these huge political promises because he's saying what people want to hear, and he knows it's what people want to hear. So they buy right into it, and they say, all right, well, we're going to have to vote for this guy because we need to protect the sanctity of marriage. And he didn't win, but he got like 40-some% of the vote. This 22-year-old kid who collects unemployment and can't keep a steady job with absolutely no business experience whatsoever got like 37,000 votes. First off, because he was one of the 2 major parties, but second off, because he told people what they wanted to hear, even though it wasn't in the scope of a possibility for him if you were in that office to ever do anything with it.
Jeez. Yeah, it's. I'm not going to say it's the opposite of smoke and mirrors. I mean, but yeah, you're right. People want to hear what they want to hear. And if a politician like, well, for instance, Ron Paul, I love him. I wish he would have stayed on, but, somebody behind the scenes pulled him off. And he laid it on the line and said this, 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 and this. And people are going, really? Oh, yeah. And then, everybody wanted to vote, or people wanted to vote for him. And then all of a sudden he's like, what? Off the ticket? What? Oh, man. And I know people like that. When I was living in California, I used to run into people who were young and very ambitious and knew that people wanted to hear certain things, and they would run for office. And of course, some would get voted, some wouldn't, and it's all about what we're scared of. We don't want anybody to rock the boat. And politicians literally know this, and they tell the people what the people want to hear, not what's, not what is true or factual from my research, but people just have open ears to anything. Oh, tell me that I'm going to get this. Tell me I'm going to get that. Well, for instance, the Obama phone. I think that's how Obama got reelected or reappointed. But yeah, you're right. I mean, people generally don't want to know the facts. Just tell me what I want to hear and tell me what you're going to do. Even though there's no way, like you said, there was no way this guy could have done anything, even if he did win, so. Yeah,
I think that it's odd in the most part, because people, a lot of people that I know believe that people are inherently bad, that you have to watch people constantly because they will steal, they will cheat, they will lie, and they will do whatever they possibly can to take advantage of others. And so they believe this of society as a whole, and they also believe this of individuals, people as individuals, and yet they believe that the government, made up of people and individuals, is somehow safe from this evil.
No, it's not. It really isn't. And you can just see that what is Washington, D.C. today is not what it was prior to 1913. It just isn't. There's no... Yeah. It just isn't. And we see the demise of common sense within the walls of Congress. We see that. And it's sad in one aspect. In another aspect, there's people like Gary Johnson and others who are up there yelling and, trying to get stuff out and trying to tell people, in their own ranks, hey, we can't do this. And their own ranks are looking at them going, you don't know what's going on. So they're pushed back into the corner like, scolded children or something, and it's really sad.
Yeah, well, I think that the politicians, I think that they want people to be naive, and I think that's extremely obvious. I think they also they want to spend their time vilifying those on the other side, because as long as they sit here and actually make people believe that they know what the problem is and they're going to fix the problem, they don't have to actually know anything. They don't have to actually be informed. As during the 2010 election cycle, I think was one of the worst, but 2012 was relatively bad as well. I would go to these political events and I'd go to these debates and I would sit and watch these politicians talk, and you knew when they would pause for applause, and they would expect applause when they said certain things. when you question them further on many of these things, they had absolutely no clue what was talking about or what they were talking about. They couldn't get any further into it. But the talking points, I think, were just the worst for me. For example, Ronald Reagan. It was the most ridiculous name-dropping game on the face of the earth. He would sit here, and especially during the Republican primaries, it's just Reagan.
Yeah.
It was like a parrot that just wouldn't shut up, man.
I know.
And it drove me absolutely batty. Just to see this happening and to see this going on, and when you question them on actual ideals or actual plans or the actual institution itself, they had nothing further to say. They would speak for 20 minutes without actually saying a word.
Yeah, that's they must have got an A in their debate class or something in college,
right?
But yeah, I've heard that. I mean, there were name dropping, and the other side of that coin was they were always blaming the previous, administration, and in this current a couple of weeks ago. In this current election cycle, there was no one else to blame, and everybody's going, "Oh, but Obama did. It was the previous one." No. Obama owns this now. It's his. Okay, it's not Bush's.
Yeah, but I found people, and you may laugh, but I saw it also on the Democrat side, where they were still blaming Bush, and they would say, well, he had 8 years to screw things up, and you can't expect this to be fixed overnight. You can't expect it to be fixed in just 4 years. And they always refer back to Clinton, and they always say, well, Clinton did so good. He did so great, and he did this and he did that. And it's funny, they never seem to mention the fact that he was a war criminal.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, it's in one ear out the other, man.
Yeah, it's odd to see. From my point of view, from my aspect of it, it's odd to see these I want to say biological androids, because they're just getting the propaganda slammed into their cranium so hard that they're like, oh, this must be it and this must be correct and the Dems are right. And it's on both sides. It's not just one party, it's both sides. And I see this, and it's just it just drives me out of my mind. And I'm trying to, tell people, no, this is what's going on. This is and I show them, and they're like, oh, you're one of those kooks. Oh man, it's like, no, here, look, here's the info, and I don't want to see that. Oh, what? So I just want to pull out what hair I got left. I mean, seriously.
It is pretty bad, actually. It's gotten to the point where it's just it's more and more laughable, and it is what it is. Unfortunately, I think that a lot of people they just they're completely and totally taken in, and they buy the hype, man. They totally buy the hype, and. Maybe someday some of these people will wake up, but I really don't have hope for a majority of them, to be honest.
No, we can hope, and we can hope for change, but it's never going to happen. I've talked to too many people here. My better half has talked to people where she works, and it's just, I've never seen so many people with blinders on. And the people who are aware, like you and I mean, we're pretty much, viewing all of this from outside, and we see what's going on and we research all of this. Some of the people look at me and say, well, you're wrong. Really? Do you have anything to back it up? No, but I just know you're wrong. What? No.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the way that a lot of it happens. A lot of people operate that way. It's simply, let me put it like this. We now get our news from different avenues than we used to in the past.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get their information just from things like Facebook or things like Twitter. And in many cases, they're not even going to read any bit of the article, they're not even going to click on the link. They're going to see the headline. There was something right after the election. I think it was like a day after, or 2 days after the election, where a fake news site, kind of like The Onion, it's the duffelblog.com, a fake news site posted that hundreds of thousands of Army ballots did not make it to get counted in time, and just a few hours after the polls closed, that's when all of these ballots made it. And so hundreds of thousands of ballots didn't get in, and it was discovered a few hours later that if these ballots had been counted, they would have changed the course of the election. And hundreds of thousands of people saw that article within one day, shared it, and bought into the hype. It got millions of shares, and these people believed it because they wanted to believe it, which is one of the first rules, really, is that people will believe a lie if it's something that they want to hear. But then also, it for me, a big part of it was that it showed the gullibility of people now, where they accept things that they think are viable without fact checking, without even clicking the link, without reading the article, and these things they get out so fast as well. It's massive.
Yeah, and when I see there's a lot of places on Facebook that I've liked, a lot of organizations like A Sheep No More and a few other ones, a lot of other ones I should say. And when they have articles up and I see the headline, I'm going, oh, this is interesting. I actually read the article to see if there's anything in there, and sure enough, I mean, I totally agree with you. It's like they see the article and then they see the headline and then they run off with their own thought. It's like, yeah, see, that is it. And it's like, no. Have you read the article? No, but I know what really? I always, you had the story about hoarders. I always ask people, I said, or tell people the story about taking the book Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. If you were to read the first 2 chapters, would you know the rest of the book? And most of the people I talk to, they're like, well, no, but I understand it. I know I don't have to read the rest of the book. Really? Really?
Yeah, like, it's like when people say, oh, well, this headline is misleading. Well, it wouldn't necessarily have been misleading if you actually read the article.
Exactly. I do that a lot. And sometimes, and to be honest, sometimes I look at a headline, I put it up on my Facebook page at Liberty and Freedom Network, and the first time I ever read the whole article is when I get on air. And I am there's 2 feelings of, what? That's one of them. And the other one is, okay, I have to form in my brain the opinion I have about this article. And sometimes when I do sit back and I read other articles off air and I'm sitting there, I'm going, I got to jot down notes and do all this. And it just, you ever get to that point where you just throw it on your desk and go, I'm walking away for about 5 minutes,
I do, actually. I really do. There are often situations where I need a break. And I think a part of it, for me at least, is because, I am a writer. And so sometimes there's just too much going on. Sometimes I just either the news is too depressing or it's too much, and I can't. My mind gets tired.
Yeah.
And so I have to stop and go and take a break for a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the insanity never stops, and it really. I found out that when you read too much and you're just, I got to read this, I got to do that, and you're doing that for 10, 12 hours a day, you're almost at the point where you're buying into the propaganda, but then all of a sudden, from mainstream media, not from alternative media, but then you're like, wait. At that point, I pull back and I go, let's just lay all this out here and take it one at a time. But I'm going to take a break first. And yeah, I usually go for a walk or go for a drive or a hike or something and come back and then I'm refreshed. But then I can clearly look at what's crap and what isn't, so.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes it just gets to be overwhelming. And part of it probably has to do with the nature of the news as well. It's not like there are very many things going on right now that are positive.
Yeah. How did you fare through Hurricane Sandy?
The town south of me completely flooded. The town north of me completely flooded, and absolutely nothing happened in my town. I actually, I didn't really lose power at all. The studio lost power for a short period of time. But I, at my own home, I didn't lose power, and I'm one of those people that likes to go out and play in storms. So I was out playing in the storm the whole time. I had my little press pass. I'm out videotaping and taking pictures, and it's unfortunate that other people were so severely affected. I mean, it was massive. It was a huge storm that destroyed tens of thousands of people's homes. But I myself, it was nothing really for me.
Jeez, you missed it, or it missed you.
Yeah, and luckily so, I guess, for me, because it could have been bad. I mean, of course, my home is pretty well built, but I mean, I'm actually I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 miles from the beach. So maybe less than that, actually. I don't know, maybe about a mile and a half. So it would have taken quite a bit, though, for it to actually make it that mile and a half to my home.
Yeah. It's when I saw all that, I'm going, oh my goodness. And when I saw New York, there's a webcam on Times Square, so I went there and it was raining and everything, and it looked like people were just walking around, and I'm like, wow, those big buildings must be, blocking the storm or something, But,
yeah, I mean, there were a few moments actually where the gusts of wind were pretty bad. I mean, there were times because I was out playing in the storm. There were times when I had to brace myself and hold on to something to keep from falling over because the wind was that strong. But all in all, it wasn't too bad for us. I mean, it was a huge storm system, and the wind was actually quite ridiculous now that I think about it. And it just it beat down on so many different things. And man, it was horrifying, I believe.
Jeez, yeah, it's just the pictures were incredible, and you put some up on your page there on Facebook, and my goodness,
yeah,
man, it's just incredible.
It was pretty bad.
So, what's your? I don't know how long you have, so whenever you got to go, just let me know.
Okay.
What is your take on the UN recognizing Palestine as being an observer state?
Define observer state.
That's what it said in the article that I read. I think I still have it up on Liberty and Freedom Network. It's I got to go find it now. But I thought it strange that a country that is, bombing the crap out of Israel is being recognized by the UN. I don't get too much into what the UN does.
See, I'm not a very big fan of the UN.
Me neither.
But I also don't I don't worship Israel the way that some Americans do. They take it to a biblical sense, and I'm not really religious at all. But what I have found is that there are two sides to every story, and every person that I see on the right refuses to acknowledge the fact that Israel could ever make mistakes. And I personally think that Netanyahu is a sociopath who has just a crap load of nukes. And I think that he is more likely to nuke someone than Kim Jong-un of North Korea, which is a very strong statement to make, but that's entirely how I feel. So, as for Palestine, I don't agree with what they're doing. I don't agree with killing. I don't agree with war. But I also do not believe that they are 100% to blame. And what I've seen is that Israel is also killing them.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I'm not saying that one side needs to sit back and not retaliate when the other side drops bombs on them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, first off, it's not the U.S.'s place to get involved. And second off, I think that they are both in the wrong, and they're both killing innocents and killing children. And that is just, it's not right.
It's not. And I just, the other day on my show, on this one, I look at it this way. They're human beings, and we need to not really get involved, but except from like an umpire point of view, it's like we need to stay over here and go, hey, can you guys, you're human beings, can you stop this, right now? And I agree with you.
It'd be nice if they did that, but I think it's quite doubtful that they actually will, to be honest.
Well, you also got to think the Palestinians and Israelis have been fighting for well over 5,500 years or something like that.
Yeah, so it's like never ending at this point. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that I agree with either side. I just I don't see why it's necessary for so much violence to go on there. It's just it's just a complete and total shame.
Exactly. I just, like I said, I don't get too much into that area in the Middle East, but I've seen pictures where I sit back going, this is insane. This is freaking insane. These are human beings. Why are they doing this? And then I have to go back into my history, all my information from, biblical and other, ancient history and go, yeah, this has been going on for a hell of a long time, and it's not going to stop. It never. So it's all about land.
I don't think it really does us any good to get involved because. No. But one interesting bit of information that I did see is that the U.S. has a little over 7. What was that, Dave? What was that stat about nuclear capabilities and Israel? Do you remember? Yeah, he's gonna get it for me. It was just it was one of the most ridiculous things that I had seen in quite a while, and it was actually quite intimidating. It had to do with the nuclear capabilities and the bombing capabilities of different countries, and people say, well, it's perfectly natural for Israel to have this kind of capability because they're constantly defending themselves. But here it is. All right. The per capita nuclear throw weight ratios. Russia versus the U.S., they have 3-1. Pakistan versus India, it's 5-1. Israel versus Pakistan is 460 to 1.
God.
So, 460. I believe that they have what was it? It's like 56. 56. What was that? 56 per capita. Do you remember that? I can't remember now. It was just some crazy ridiculous number. It was like they have 56.1 bombs per person or something.
Jeez, that's just that's insane. I understand
why they have them.
Yeah.
I do. I understand why they have them, but it scares me, and I am petrified that we are on the brink of World War III.
Yeah. Yeah, and that
I love it.
yeah, that was my point. And with the information I'm getting from different articles and the conflicting sources say that Iran doesn't have any nuclear capabilities, and then some people are saying they do. And I'm like, until we get actual numbers and actual, factual information, I don't think anybody will ever know, because they don't release their news. They lie, of course, like most third world countries. So I don't think we're ever going to get the right information from Iran.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's going to be one of those situations where we just sit back and watch and see what happens.
Yeah.
As I said, I really have. I really do fear that we are close to World War III. And considering so many people have nuclear capabilities, I do not trust these governments to not push the buttons and not basically destroy the world. I think the next time that we have a world war, we will see, I think we're going to see some kind of massive nuclear event. And it scares the crap out of me. But also I believe it's about 50 miles away from the Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, which is one of the largest Air Force bases in the country. So I know that I'll probably not live much longer past it.
Jeez. Yeah, that is scary. We've got out here in Nevada, we have the Fallon Naval Air Station, and we also have at the Reno International Airport, we have the reserve base, the Air Reserve Base. So yeah, I don't fear much, but that's one thing I fear, because I also, specifically in this country, I fear that something is going to happen. My intuition, my gut feeling says something is going to happen in such a way to cause President Obama and the people controlling him to declare a national emergency, which will totally suspend everything, and he'll become a dictator. Not that he isn't already.
Now see, I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
And I think that it is a viable fear, but I think that if that were to happen, I think that that there would be a fight. Basically, people wouldn't just they wouldn't just sit back and let it happen. I think that people would react, and they would do so with good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also on. I agree with you. I do believe that we're at we're at the edge of the moment where we may have World War III, and that scares the total crap out of me. I'm, like I said, I don't fear much, but that's got the hairs on the back of my head going up. It's like I don't like that feeling.
Yeah. Well, we've passed we've passed the realm of regular discussion now and moved into a complete speculation.
Oh yeah.
And I've let you know now one of my deepest fears. So do you mind if I take a moment to, I guess, pitch my website and my own shows?
Please do. I was just going to ask you. I was just going to tell people that too, actually. But go ahead.
All right. So I have the Angel Clark Show, because I couldn't think of a good name. The Angel Clark Show is on Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern, which I guess your time is, what is that? Is it 2 to 4?
2 to 4.
Yeah, so it's like your show goes on and then my show goes on.
Exactly.
So, or vice versa, excuse me. So it's like a nice little It's a nice little liberty-oriented combination there.
You bet.
And so the show is from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. We upload the show after the fact to Spreaker. We air live on numerous internet networks and numerous physical radio stations. And the podcast, I believe, is normally put up about an hour after the show ends. We have the website, radiofreedom.us, and it's currently under construction. We're playing with it, doing tons of work to it. And one thing that we're working on is expanding the Radio Freedom News Network, and we're working on uploading all of the archives of our shows and all the shows associated with it onto the site. We have Secrets of the Fed radio. We have fantasy football-focused radio because, some people like that whole sports thing. We also have the American Evolution, which is a show that I myself do along with a couple of friends of mine on Thursday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. But I would recommend that you listen to Rev's show and check the archives of mine after the fact. And that's it. If you go to radiofreedom.us, you will find a link to the Angel Clark Show fan page on Facebook. You will find there that I post amusing images and witty memes all day long. You will find a link to my Twitter page. My Twitter handle is @SussexAngelC. You will find a link to my Google Plus page, my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to an RSS feed to the show. So there are lots of ways to get in touch with me and to listen to my show. If you go to angelclark.us, right there you will find over a year's worth of archives of my show. It's through Spreaker, so that basically just redirects. Yeah. And it's all right there. It's free. It's easy to use, and we like to make it so everyone has access.
Yep. And, of course, you write blogs over at SussexCountyAngel.com.
Oh, yeah, duh. That's my personal blog site, SussexCountyAngel.com. And I also write for Examiner. And I always forget when I write something for Examiner, I always forget to put it on the personal blog site, which is just, it's laughable of me that I always forget to. But, Examiner, they pay me for the hits. So I like to keep people going to the Examiner stuff, SussexCountyAngel.com. If you go to Examiner.com and search for Angel Clark, you will find that I am the Delaware Civil Rights Examiner and the Delaware Elections Examiner and the Delaware Prepper Examiner. And I think there's something else as well, but I can't remember right now. But you can subscribe to all of those RSS feeds as well, so that when I write an article, they get emailed to you.
Yep. And there's one other one, DelawarePolitics.net.
Oh, I don't really write for them anymore because they pissed me off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they keep asking me to start writing again and start publishing again. And I'm still like an admin on their page, but I haven't published on there. I think now it's been close to a year, because one of the guys who writes for the page, he made me angry, and he's supposed to apologize. He told the editor of the site that he would apologize to me and he would do so in a public manner, and he never did so. So. Maybe after he apologizes, I'll write for them again.
Oh, geez. Wow.
I hold grudges, man. I hold grudges.
Yeah, don't piss you off.
And, they asked me also to write for the Woman's Warrior site.
Oh,
so, Woman's Warrior. Let me see. It's a PAC site, I believe. Woman Warrior PAC or something. And I also, I guess, Famous Dave over here is telling me that my stuff is also published on capitalismisfreedom.com. I mean, a lot of people republish my stuff. They do it also for Spread Liberty News or something. There's bunches of them. And Women Warriors PAC. The website is Women Warriors PAC, PAC, at politicalactioncommittee.com.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, wow. Getting into all kinds of stuff. Being part of the liberty movement and, constitutional libertarians and all that. And I talked to quite a few of them around here in Reno, and they're just like, we need to move. We need to, And I'm like, yeah, they give me their views as to what's happening in Nevada. But as far as the libertarian movement itself, nationwide, what do you believe is the future of the libertarian movement?
I think that the future of the Libertarian Party is not hopeful. I think that the future of the Libertarian movement, small l, is positive and is hopeful, because the Libertarian, small l, is more individual rights. The Libertarian movement is growing. That's very strong. But the Libertarian Party itself, they've made mistakes, and they've made people angry, and they've screwed things up, and it's something that a lot of people that I know that are involved in the liberty-oriented movement, they don't want to have to deal with a party that they have to explain past misdeeds to. I mean, Bob Barr in 2008, what the hell was that,
Yeah, exactly.
So they're focusing too much on trying to get name recognition, and in doing so are alienating their actual activists. But I do think that we're going to see a rise in the third party in 2014 and 2016, based on the fact that so many Republicans compromised in order to vote for Mitt Romney, and then he still lost. So
yeah.
I think that we're going to see some changes, and it should be interesting to watch happen.
Yeah. I almost voted for Romney, and I didn't. As a matter of fact, I told people on my show, I am not going to vote. But then I thought, wait a minute, there's a resistance against what is happening. So to resist is to vote for another party. So, and I make no bones about it, I voted for Gary Johnson. But I knew if I resisted, the left-right paradigm and voted totally opposite. I knew it wasn't a wasted vote, because I felt good doing that. I felt good resisting in that way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I went in and I voted for Ron Paul myself, wrote him in, and it's what I wanted to do. So it worked for me. That's what made me happy. So that's what matters. I'm the one who ultimately has to live with my vote.
Yep. Yep, exactly. It's your conscience you got to deal with the next morning. So.
Yeah. Pretty much. That I think is something that a lot of people forget. The lesser of two evils is still, in fact, evil.
Exactly. Hey, I know you got to go, and I have to say this. It is wonderful to have you on my show. I know we tried to hook up a couple of weeks ago, but you were sick. I wasn't feeling well. The holidays came up, so I appreciate it so much that you came on.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. It's nice to chat with you again, and we'll have to schedule something again for later on down the road. But thanks for having me on, and best of luck with your show.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, you have a good night.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was the one and only Angel Clark. Again, her sites are, or the site for her show is, radiofreedom.us. And you can hear her show Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And it's a fantastic show. Awesome guests. Get a chance, drop over there, listen to awesome guests. Believe me. Again, the Angel Clark Show, radiofreedom.us, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And right now, I am going to take a break, and we'll come back, and I'll go through some headlines and articles, and we'll go from there. So this is the views expressed on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host Michael Long. The show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a journey into light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/Journey into the Light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/EastlandFilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. That is from 1984 by George Orwell. Do you really want to know what's going on? Come listen to The Views Express, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the Liberty and Freedom Network.
Samo Radio, playing music for free so you can listen longer. Samo.
It's the 5 o'clock drive with Samo.
Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's on your mind? Chances are it's on their mind too. Check out Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on Spreaker.com. This is the Views Expressed. How you doing? Hey, it is the 30th of November, 2012. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. We just heard from Angel Clark from the Angel Clark Show, Liberty Movement person, or libertarian, I should say. Just pretty much, just an all-around great person. Just wonderful. If you get a chance to listen to her show, it is on at 5 to 7 Eastern at radiofreedom.us. And check it out. Got great guests and just is a wonderful show. So anyway, hey, I have someone who just called in, and that would be Laura.
Hi.
Hi. And that would be the other host for the unnamed show. Which,
the good-looking wolf.
Oh, now. I look in the mirror and my reflection screams, okay, just stop. I'm just kidding. We hope to have a show tomorrow night.
We do?
If you want. I was gonna ask you about that. The reason why I say we hope, because it is said here in this area that there might be some flooding.
Oh boy.
So, and we don't know if it's going to come where we live or what. We don't know. So, yeah, it's going to be windy and rainy and all that kind of crap. The wind's been gusting up to 50 miles an hour, and it's been really bad over here. So, right now it's calm. So, hopefully it'll stay that way for the next 2 or 3 days, but I doubt it. So, how are you?
Okay. Tired, but okay.
Tired? Yeah, so am I. I woke up too early. The alarm went off. I'm like, oh, I got to get up and go to the bathroom. Okay. And then I'm there and I'm like, okay, I'm awake. Screw it. I'm up. You know.
Yeah, I didn't even set the alarm. I just let myself get up, and I started waking up about 8.
Yeah.
I do have to do a couple things, lay back down. It seems like I'm trying to catch a cold, so I've been trying to rest to try to avoid it. Usually if I get enough sleep, it helps, but you can probably hear the...
Oh, yeah, you're second snot. Yeah, that's okay. But,
yeah, I'm hoping I'm not sick, because I have a Christmas party to go to next Saturday.
Oh, my God.
Sick, I'm definitely not going.
Yeah. So, tomorrow, kind of if we have a show, cross our fingers, hopefully we don't get flooded out over here.
I hope you don't.
But I have some subjects. I don't know if you had thought of any, but I have a few things. One being... I
don't offhand, but I can, try.
One being... I know we talk about this, but we haven't talked about it in quite a while, and that would be education. Love education. Just, I should get off the computer and go read a book once in a while. But, yeah, so that was one of the things I wanted to get into, and specifically, and I'll probably have Diana talk about this tomorrow as well. If we have a show tonight, I'll see if she wants to talk about it. In education and early child development, in the difference between basically, well, this is my subject, but the difference between the parent teaching the child, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years old, in comparison to what preschool, elementary school, kindergarten, elementary school teaches, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got a very strong opinion on that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. To me, my grandmother was right. Education begins at home.
Yeah, but at the same token, I think education, because my dad taught me how to write before I was even in kindergarten.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with 100% homeschooling.
No, I don't either.
I'll tell you why. If you met my friend Justin, you would understand it. None of his other siblings was homeschooled. He was. He doesn't really, and he knows this, I'm not saying anything about him that he and I have not talked about.
Right.
He doesn't have very good social skills.
Right.
He doesn't, he's very shy. Then they decided to finally let him go to a public school his senior year, he ended up having to be held back a year because he wasn't up to par. when you're homeschooled, yeah, you have siblings, but you need the social interaction. You really do.
Exactly.
I mean, and I understand why parents want to homeschool their kids because they figure they're not getting enough education, and I get that. But then you can help them at home, but they need the interaction with other kids. They do. And just going to Cub Scouts and playing with the neighborhood kids is not enough.
No. It when I was in, and I knew when I was in school, and you talked about high school, I knew when I was in elementary school, I've been playing music since I was 8 years old. I know how to read and do all that good garbage. I've kind of forgotten a little bit of it as I got older, but because I don't use it every day. But I've noticed that the arts, because I'm big in music and theater and all of this, that's my background. And that helped me with the academics. That helped me with the math.
But it's not as important as I think more should be spent on the regular. I liked the arts. I liked art class. But if the kids are not getting their other stuff, I mean, the other reading and writing and arithmetic and social sciences, those are far more important.
No, I mean that's
especially in elementary school. In high school, I'd say have at it, because you get your electives. In high school, you're old enough, once you get the things you have to have by law, state law out.
Right.
I did. I took, instead of taking like the easy fluff classes, including my senior year, I took a lot of English courses. My senior year, I had a fluff class. Basically, I was a counseling office aide. I gave that up to take an actual salesmanship class because I was studying marketing.
Yeah.
So you find things that interest you. But I mean, I agree to a large part. I'd say about 98% of me agrees with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's that part that kids don't learn. I mean, I had a friend who graduated high school. He's actually my brother's best friend. He had absolutely no concept of punctuation, capitalization, or sentence structure. And he got passed through because he showed up every day.
Yeah. And when I was in elementary school, I was, 8 when I started doing music. When I was 9, 10, I was, my mama taught me at home saying, here's what you need to do. So I was like 3, 4 grades ahead of everybody else. But
me too. I got 6. That was part of my problem.
Yeah, my education began in school, other than the arts and music and all that, was comprehension. I had a hard time understanding these things. My mom helped me at home, and I got it at school. And that was the concentrated effort of the teachers and instructors at the school to help me understand what it was I was reading or working with, and that helped a great deal. Once I got that, everything else was a breeze.
Well, they found the problem with me. I mean, I wore glasses even before I went into kindergarten, but I was still having a hard time. And, my mom, was really trying to, she didn't push me as hard with homework as I wish her and my dad would have, but they were on it. If I asked for help, they gave it to me.
Yeah, Yeah. I, believe it or not, I was 8 years old, 7 years old, something like, I don't know. I do remember I went to a new elementary school. Believe it or not, it was Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School in Stockton, California. And you couldn't tell now, but I had a lisp. I wasn't able to say my S's or anything.
You mean like the one that I still have?
Yeah, a little bit,
Smith, Wayne Pierce?
Yes,
Clemens?
And they taught me about that.
I had to go to speech therapy for that, and because my sentences run together.
Yeah, and I had, believe it or not, I had fun in school learning. I mean, I was 8 years old, and we had an election for Sergeant of Arms and all of this in elementary school. They want you to be part of that, and it was all, what I know now is indoctrination. But I ran for Sergeant of Arms, and I was 8 years old, pre-puberty. So here's this little 8-year-old, 9-year-old, whatever, and I'm talking with a really high voice, and it's like, man, I got laughed at, and so I just walked off and never, did anything again. But in my music, later on, when I was 10, 11 years old, I was composing my own stuff and arranging and doing all that. That helped me learn better math, learn better English, just learn how to structure sentences. And that whole thing helped. And so when I was in high school, I took the English classes, I took journalism, I took, we had a class called Literature of the Supernatural. Took that one, got involved with that, got A's out of that class. Took another class, it was science fiction. It was an English class that dealt with science fiction and science fiction stories. And the odd thing about that was I learned how to write and be better at structuring detail in my sentences in a paragraph. Instead of taking 6 paragraphs to describe something, I'd do it in 1 or 2, you know. So I learned a great deal there. And it was great, and I loved learning all of that stuff. Now kids go, cell phone, I got to text my friend, you know.
Well, not so much in school.
Not now, no, because most of the schools now are saying, no, put your cell phone in the locker because you're not going
Well, in some classes they're allowed to have it because schools can't afford computers.
Right.
And they have their, they have the internet, and the kids are allowed to do that for, like, certain things. But, yeah, you got to be really careful.
Yeah, I love learning. I mean, I just, I
love learning, but it was hard with a lot of what I went through with my eye problem and everything. So.
Yeah.
It was bullying, but I'm not one of them that the bully should go to jail. There's something that needs to be done. Obviously, there's a problem with the there's more to it. And in some cases, the kid being bullied needs to suck it up, too.
Yeah.
And take care of it themselves, because that's what I had to do. I'm not saying snow, like that grown man bullying that little girl's cerebral palsy. I don't agree with that.
No.
And I don't agree with, and some of the things that they call bullying is not bullying.
No, not at all.
I mean, I believe bullying is bullying, but I'm sorry, sitting there calling somebody, oh, you got 4 eyes, that's not bullying. That's just being a little asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. I had glasses when I was younger, but then I stopped wearing them and all this. And I mean, imagine now, just for a moment, I'll take you back 42 years ago.
If you will.
Remember, if you will. I was 8 years old, going to school. My hair was really long. My bangs, when I put my hair in front of my face, I looked like Cousin It from Addams Family. I mean, it was, and people were just looking at me going, is he a girl? Is he a guy? Is he a boy or a girl? And so apparently my mother told me that she finally, had to get she goes, I have to get your hair cut because people, are calling me and talking to me. And and I'm like, okay, Mom, whatever. And I didn't want it cut. But, just imagine a little 8-year-old boy, with hair down to his shoulders,
I know my brother had long hair. And I know, and he got teased. I remember he finally decided to get it cut. His hair is beautiful when it's longer. It's curly.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's wasted on the boy, not the girl, but his hair was gorgeous and wavy. And I remember we went to the store, and this woman ahead of us was talking to her child, saw my brother, and said, "Oh, honey, let the little girl put her stuff up here."
Oh, jeez.
And my brother's like, "I'm a boy." And after that, he got his hair cut pretty quickly thereafter. My mom and dad were giving, my dad was military, but they were giving him a chance to express his individuality. They knew he'd come around.
Yeah.
The harder parents sit there, you need to cut your hair, you're wrong, you need. That's more than the kid doesn't want to cut the hair. You let the kid express themselves a little bit, they'll come around.
Yeah, and my mom's that way now. My hair is like halfway down my back, and my mom's like, you still got all that hair? Yeah. Yeah, Mom, I do.
Well, I teach you how to get a haircut, hippie.
I know, it is, and it's all white. I gotta have white hair. I told Diana, I said, if I grow my beard out, it's gonna be all white and peppered with, white salt and pepper.
Look like the professor from Harry Potter, or what?
I'm gonna look like, Gandalf or something.
Thank you. I couldn't remember his name. Yeah. Your geek is showing.
My geek is showing. I like Harry Potter. I haven't watched the last 3. The last 3.
I have the second to last one. I hadn't watched it because I didn't want to watch it because I knew the minute that I watched it, I would want to watch the very next one. So now that the other one's out on video, I'm going to get that one too and then watch them together.
Yeah.
Have a nerd day.
Just to let you know, the lights flickered, so if we go off, that's what it is. Wind's blowing up.
Okay.
Yeah, the wind's blowing like crazy out there. I like
it's not like Blog Talk where I could continue talking if you get back.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're off, you're off. So anyway, it's. I like Harry Potter. I like all those. The other one coming out that I want to see with, of course, I think the guy was in Planet of the Apes, the remake. But Oz, the Great and Powerful.
Oh, yeah, that was filmed here in Michigan.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a hard time about being a geek. I'm really not. Cause I used to go to Star Trek conventions, dude.
That's okay. I want to go to Comic-Con, man. I haven't been there.
And I may have worn a costume once or twice.
Oh, my God. No, you're not a geek.
When I first started going, at 17, that's when I was at my absolute hottest.
Yeah.
And I rented a costume, like a Star Trek uniform like Uhura would wear back in the 60s. I mean, the little short thing.
Yeah.
Now it would look funny. You know, I'd look like a chubby chick just trying to deliver youth. But, no, when I was 17, that's when I was at my hottest. And I got followed around by some geeks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they thought what I was doing there or whatever, and they'd sit there and try to talk to me about stuff. The ones that weren't afraid to talk to a girl.
Yeah.
And then I would sit there, and they were shocked to know that I actually knew about Star Trek. So.
Yeah. It's. I want to see Oz just because of Mila Kunis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
You have underwear older than her, you know.
I know. I laugh. I'm joking. You know. Jeez.
Well, she's legal. You can look. But when she started, she was like 14 when she started that 70s show, though.
Oh, yeah, and she lied about her age.
She lied about her age. Yeah.
That was funny. But yeah, the one movie I want to see with my other favorite actress, which is Natalie Portman, I want to see Black Swan. I haven't seen it yet.
That's a little creepy for me, but I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So,
yeah, I've heard it's good, but it's just a little out there for me, even.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So there's a lot of good movies coming out that I'd like to see. I just, money, time,
Sure.
and just, I don't know.
You're preaching to the choir on the money issue, dear.
Oh, yeah. Pardon me while I look for something to play for a break. But anyway, we'll probably go over a little bit, but I don't want to go over too much. Yeah, my belly's starting to, it's starting to gurgle.
Well, I mean, once you hit being a senior citizen, I mean, you're seeing at 2 in the afternoon, you're probably way over.
Yeah.
I do love him, everybody. I really do. He's my buddy.
Folks, I am, relatively speaking, I'm young. Okay?
It's not according to the calendar. He's like older than the Mayans, according to the calendar. He was there. What was I thinking?
I don't know.
You didn't ask him when you guys were filling out the calendar?
The guy looked at the rock that he put this on and went, "I'm out of room." Is that going to freak him out?
That's kind of what I'm thinking now. Let's just go this way. We'll freak him out a million years from now.
I keep wondering, did they have a 12-month calendar, and did they have the hot models on their calendar? We don't know. I have no clue. But I'm not that old, just because Moses was my neighbor years ago. Anyway.
Just because you helped him part the Red Sea?
Yeah, I stood there going, "Dude, look at that water, man." Anyway.
If I didn't take on music, I didn't like you.
I know. I'm not old. I'm youthfully challenged. Yeah.
You're not old.
No, I'm not old. My body's going...
Parts of my body tell me that I'm old, but, as long as my brain is still young, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. My knee goes, "You're not old? Here's this pain." Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You're preaching to the choir, mister.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shoot, man, I'm telling you. I just, sorry, I'm looking at my cell phone. I know.
Sure, rub it in and you have a smartphone.
Yeah. No, it's, I don't have ADD. I really, squirrel.
Hey, Macarena.
Yeah, look at the grumpy kitty. He's so cute.
Yes, he is.
But anyway, she. Oh, it is a she. I did not know that.
Yes, her name is Tard.
Oh, Tard. Do they have another cat named Ree? Because,
I don't know. But she has a brother, but I don't know what the brother's name is. The brother kind of looks like her, but it's like black and white instead. Yeah. Very cute.
Just wondering, hey, I got a cat named Ree and another one named Tard. What? Okay.
Pew. I think it's short for something, but I don't think it's short for that.
No, I know.
I love that kitty.
Oh, yeah.
Not as much as I love my kids. But.
Yeah, I don't. It's the thing. A lot of people comment on my stuff, and yes, I do put dog and cat pictures up on my page. It's not just stuff that I find because I like that. I people who do that and put them kitty pictures up. I'm just like, did they stage this? Did they sit there all day long and wait for that cat to do that, or what?
I have one friend. He posts. We played a game on Facebook called Zombie Together. That's how I know who he is. He doesn't really play it anymore, but he cracks me up because he posts nothing but like chicks in skimpy clothes, stuff about guns and zombies, and then kitty pictures.
Oh my God!
He loves his kitty pictures. It just cracks me up. I'm like, really?
The one thing I don't like.
Kitties are cool.
The one thing I don't like, and you've seen them too, was those pictures that people put up about people hurting animals
I just pass those. I don't even look at those.
Yeah, I just
like that one picture I put up. You can definitely help support animals and stop abuse without having to put pictures of hurt and dying animals.
Exactly. And I've gone to the ASPCA website and emailed them and didn't get anything back. It was like a form email that came back, but pretty much, and I don't like it. So what I do is I go up to the little X and I click on that and block them, and I don't like it.
Well, yeah, and you can do that. These people who join these sites and then go and then complain or crack me up. Freedom of speech, idiots.
Exactly.
You join the site. There's a show called. Excuse my error. I mean, a site. I'm going to swear for a minute. People, please excuse me. It's the name of the site on Facebook. Okay,
right.
And I'm going to give them a shout out because I love the site. They get great pictures. The name of it is Fucktards Need Not Apply.
Yeah.
Okay, with a name like that, why would you think that there's not going to be profanity and other stuff in the photos that they post?
Exactly.
They post some sweet pictures too. I like the site.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
I look at it this way. This is my perspective on these people that put up this and think that, I want to get the word out that animals are being hurt, so I want to show these people that are hurting. And it's like, no, what you're doing is you're pissing me off because I don't like that. Okay, I don't hurt animals. I was living in California. Somebody asked me, "Hey, want to go hunting?" I go, "I don't hunt animals." And I looked him dead in the eyes, and he's like, "Ooh, okay, I think I'll leave now." It's not that I would purposely go out and hunt humans much. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you get on a site like that and folks expect, vulgarity on these sites and you cuss too much. Well, block them. All you got to do is go up to the little right-hand corner, see a little X, and you're going to block them. That's all you got to do. Okay?
Agreed. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. That's what you can do.
And I mean, I'm going to use you as an example. Okay, I pick on you, all right? You know that. But you're aware that I don't agree with a lot of what you post.
Oh, yeah.
But my choice is I read it or skim it or ignore it.
There you go.
I don't, you have a right to post it. Whether or not I choose to agree with it or not, I will fight for your right to post it.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I'll fight for my right to not agree and to not have to comment on it.
There you go. And I'm the same way. So
yes, you are.
Hey, we're going to take a break. So it's a long break as soon as I put it up to play. There we go. It's going to be over 6 minutes long. So if you got to do what you got to do, then go do what you got to do, because we shall return right after this. Liberty-minded radio There's no other straightforward radio you will ever hear than The Angel Clark Show. Join Angel Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern at www.radiofreedom.us. That's The Angel Clark Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern at radiofreedom.us. Listen to The Sandy Fox Show, playing a variety of music including rock, pop, and country. The Sandy Fox Show is a production of the Force Radio Network. You can find her and all of the great FRN shows on Spreaker.com, icedcast.org, and by searching for Force Internet Radio on TuneIn.com. You can also find great mobile apps on TuneIn.com to take the live shows and replays with you. The Force Radio Network. Real radio for real people. Want more entertainment value than your dollar can buy you at the movies? Listen to the Chris Top Program on Spreaker.com.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host Michael Long. This show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a journey into light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/Journey into the Light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/Eastland Films for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to eastlandradiofilms@usa.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the views expressed right here for the 30th of November, 2012. Jeez, it's December tomorrow. Thank you. We're going into overdrive just for a little bit. We're not going to go long. I have the one and only Laura Clemens from the Unnamed Show, which is usually, when we do get around to doing it, it's usually on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Pacific.
The Unnamed Show is usually on an unnamed day.
Unnamed day, yeah. We haven't named the day yet to have the Unnamed Show. But yeah, it's usually on Saturday.
Well, we used to do it Saturdays, but like I said, with your fiancée, Diana, not always wanted to hang around with because of her time off.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I don't blame her.
We're kind of, I know this is on air and we're kind of doing behind the scenes stuff, but now, do you agree it would be better on Sunday?
Sunday or Monday, I think it might not be bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably Sunday, because you still have some, weekend people wanting to wind down before having to go back to work.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk about everything under the sun, but
that's why it's the Unnamed Show.
Exactly. But we will have subjects. You can email us at theunnamedShow@usa.com if you have any subjects. We do have a chat box. We do have a way for people to call in. But yeah, it's like everything under the sun. I always not always, but I always want to get into talking about movies and old actors and actresses.
I love old movies.
I love the film noir. Oh my God. It's just so wonderful. I love all those movies.
So it means old horror movies or old romances,
Yeah. Well, I'm being an entertainer and having been on stage and acted, I love everything, horror. Oh. Not so much westerns, but horror,
Some
sci-fi.
westerns I like because I used to watch with my brother.
Yeah.
It's so funny because John Wayne is known for westerns, but my favorite John Wayne movie is not a western.
Wow.
It's based on a really good book that I had to read in lit class called The Quiet Man.
Oh, yeah.
And they had stuff to it that was not in the book.
Yeah.
Because it's John Wayne, but it was a very good movie, and it showed that he's not, he wasn't a one-note actor. He wasn't just western. He was fantastic in The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
I think Maureen O'Hara, the beautiful redhead, I think she was the one that was in that.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah.
But that's good. But I could do a whole show on how much I love Cary Grant.
Oh yeah.
Arsenic and Old Lace, Operation Petticoat. Just so many others that I could just go on and on about.
Oh, yeah.
I love me some Cary Grant.
Cary Grant.
I don't know what, that surprises a lot of people. It did Mark. Mark likes him, too. That actually made him like me more. So, I could sit there and talk about, I'm not a huge chick flick fan, but there are some that I like.
Yeah.
But, I could sit there and do a whole show talking about the Princess Diaries movies, that I love.
Now, I have to admit, I liked You've Got Mail. I
had not seen that. My brother made me watch it.
Yeah, I like
told me I should watch it. And then I had not, it was really good. And I had not seen Sweet Home Alabama. So my brother really liked that when my brother rented it for me to watch. Because he knew I'd like it because he liked it.
Well, you and I both agree on Sleepless in Seattle. I thought that was an excellent movie as well.
I love Sleepless in Seattle. So romantic. as good as Tom Hanks is in everything, he's so good in romantic.
Oh, yeah.
He's like every man. You know, he's handsome without being like Matt Damon handsome.
Yeah.
He's like every man handsome. Like, I could actually get him handsome.
Now, what is your take, not on the man, but what is your take on Woody Allen movies?
Some are okay, some are stupid.
Yeah.
It's not like I gotta go rush out and see them. There is one, though, that I kind of want to see right now. It's on DVD, but I cannot remember the name of it, but Owen Wilson is in it.
Oh.
Something in Paris.
Yeah. I just saw a thing on oh, God.
Yeah, basically he goes back, you know, he's there in Paris, and he and his shrew of a fiancé, and he starts, I don't know if it's imaginary or what, but he starts spending time with literary figures.
Yeah.
And it looks fascinating to me.
Yeah.
But no, I've never been a huge Woody Allen fan. I don't have a problem with him, you know, other than creepy way he met his wife. But
yeah, that was okay.
He was never a father figure. No, she was a child when he started dating her mother and having babies with her mother.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah. Oh, the reason why I brought up Woody Allen was because, let me scroll on down here, blah, blah, blah. IMDb is so fun. Annie Hall.
I saw it, didn't like it.
Yeah, it was different. Maybe
if I was of that era when it came out, maybe I'd enjoy it a little bit more, but I watch it and it's like, no.
Yeah, it was slow. I didn't.
But the one I liked was back in the day. I've not seen it. I probably couldn't tell you anything about it. The one that I liked that he did was, I believe Burt Reynolds was in it. Everything You Need to Know About Sex.
And We're Afraid to Ask.
One.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Woody Allen. Where they're like sperm or something.
Oh yeah.
That was funny as hell.
Yeah, that was. I laughed my butt off on that one.
But at the same time, I love Diane Keaton, so I'm kind of surprised that I didn't like Annie Hall more.
Yeah.
She's quirky, and I appreciate people who are quirky.
To me, it had good parts, but I just.
It did. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I just didn't.
It's not my thing.
No. Overall, I give it out of 5 stars. I'd probably give it 3.5. I mean,
I
know here we are rating movies.
I can't even remember it.
I mean, this is called The Views Express, so whatever it is. Somebody. Okay, I thought I heard something on my Skype thing, but nope, didn't. Okay, no big deal. Oh yeah, my phone is dying. Anyway.
Oh no.
Oh my God. But yeah, there's and here's another movie, and I like the 2 actors in it, so I'll give it a shot. Okay. It's got Anne Hathaway in it, of course.
Love her.
Les Miserables. Because I like,
you could say Les Miserables.
Les Miserables. Yeah, I like me. Yeah.
Well, Anne Hathaway is one of my favorites.
She's just amazing.
And Hugh Jackman is in it, and I love Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman and
Russell Crowe, who is like gorgeous.
Well, is it Hugh Jackman or is it?
Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe are both in it.
Yeah. Because they both.
Jean Valjean, is that his name in it? Jean Valjean, something like that. That's who Hugh Jackman plays, the one that takes her child in.
Yeah. And they both sing, which is cool.
Well, Hugh Jackman can sing anyway, because I remember he played, he was in that Broadway production of Oz, where he played Liza Minnelli's ex-husband. Can't remember the guy's name right now.
Yeah.
Peter Allen?
Yeah. Peter Allen, I think it was,
Yeah.
And, of course, Russell Crowe can sing. He's awesome.
It's something with grunt or something.
Yeah, 30 feet of grunt, It was really cool because I saw 30 foot of grunt. I think that's what it's called. I saw him on PBS.
We'll call it that, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him on PBS, and I'm going, Russell Crowe sings? And when I heard the whole show, I'm like, damn, he's good.
That surprised me when some actors are actually good singers, because, a lot of it's all creative.
Oh, yeah.
If you've heard Billy Bob Thornton, he has a country band with Boxmasters, I think is what it's called, and they're real good.
Oh, yeah.
Real good.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, very good singer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm amazed.
I mean, there's some singers who are very good actors, like Dwight Yoakam. He's a hell of an actor.
Oh, yeah. Toby Keith. I mean...
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
I look at people now. I'm a big Meatloaf fan. I like Meatloaf, but
me too. Good food.
But in recent years, it's weird. I see him on video or I see him on TV and he's singing and it sounds great. And in concert, shows on TV. But like he was on the Mike Huckabee show and he sang a couple of songs there, and I'm going, my God, he sounds monotone. What the hell? So it
could be the sound in the studio too.
Yeah.
Some people don't sound as good live. There's a young lady here from Michigan. She's a fantastic country singer. Her name is Gianna Kramer.
Yeah.
And then her music videos, song on the radio, fantastic. They have a live version of one song. It doesn't sound as good. Some people just don't sound as good live.
Yeah.
Or we had the one awards show I watched, and nobody sounded good, which was terrible because it was Brooks and Dunn's final CMA appearance together, and the sound was all messed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's not the person so much as it's the sound.
Yeah.
But, I enjoyed seeing Meatloaf and Barry Bostwick on Glee that time when they had the
Rocky
Horror. And I don't watch Glee, people. I watched it because it was a Rocky Horror episode.
Yeah.
My brother watched it for the same reason.
Yeah. That was
Rocky
funny
Horror.
when they looked at one another. It's like, I know you.
Yeah.
It was like that look. I was just... And I was watching an interview with Meatloaf, and he said that while they were filming, he was doing the motorcycle thing. He's driving a motorcycle, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was an accident on the set while they were filming, and it was like, everybody's like, oh my God, we got to get this shot done. It's like, well, there was an accident. We got to take care of this, and he said it was freaking chaos all over
people
the
don't
set.
care. Some of these directors and producers or whatever, they have the bottom line. They don't care about human life.
Yeah. And I love me some Tim Curry because I like his voice. His voice, I really believe that he could be a crooner, Oh,
he could, absolutely.
He's just a fantastic voice.
He's got a great voice, but he's also a great actor, too. I loved him in Clue.
Awesome. He was awesome in that, and he was also a supportive role in Hunt for Red October. And
I never saw that, but he was great when he did like a season-long guest starring thing on Roseanne's show when Roseanne was still on.
That was great. I saw
and he was so good on there. He ended up being, crooked and stealing money from them all, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like it. And if you ever get a chance somewhere on the Ethernet out in the world. He did 3 albums. I think one of them I think he did before he did Rocky Horror, and then he did 2 more after that. But it's just fantastic. I have two songs on my computer. He's just a fantastic guy. In his interview, he's just really laid back, and he's like, but he's very, I like, he seems like he likes doing what he does.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's...
I just wonder what he thought when he found out he was going to have to be in a bustier, stockings, and heels.
What he did is when Richard O'Brien, who wrote everything in that film, music and everything...
Brilliant, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. When he talked to Tim Curry, they tried getting that done in London, and none of the theaters would do it. None of them. Even on, just even the ones that were way off, they wouldn't do it.
They should have gone to Canada. You can get away with a lot more in Canada.
So they brought it over here. He brought it over here to an off-Broadway venue. It became a huge freaking hit, and they're going, wow, so, and then he took it out to L.A., to the Roxy, and it became a huge hit out there. But you got to remember, 74, 73, around in there, that was a time when hardly anybody...
Things more free, yeah.
Yeah, hardly anybody would come out and say they were gay or anything like that. But there was flamboyancy in that time. And as you can tell in the music, the disco and all that. But it became a huge hit. So when I think Robert Adler, when he, approached... Richard O'Brien, Richard's like, yeah, let's do it. So, and Tim Curry's like, well, let's go. But Meatloaf was in the one in L.A. He played Dr. Scott and Eddie. So, yeah. So I don't know what he thought, but I'm sure that he didn't mind. He's an actor. Why? What the hell? But yeah.
Yeah, but still, sometimes some actors have to do some stuff like, you wanted me to do what?
You want what? I'm gonna wear a bustier and some black.
You mean other than just at home? Or?
Yeah, exactly. But when I was doing theater in California, we did at a cast party. We did they popped on Rocky Horror, and one of the girls sitting next to me, well, a couple of people actually looked at me and said, "Get up and do it! Get up and do it!" And I'm like, oh, "Okay, what the hell?" And I did the whole Frankenfurter thing, and they're just like, "Oh my god!" And it's amazing to me that people literally were drawn into that. As far as the performance, I'm talking about the movie and all of that.
Yeah,
it's like
it's just a shame that the movie tanked so badly when it came out.
It did, and they ran it. And the other movie in that time frame in '74 was Phantom of the Paradise with Paul Williams, and
which I loved, which tanked. Horribly.
Yeah, they put it out. They put it out like at 8:00 at night in a regular, rotation, and nobody wanted to see it really.
Oh, so, my family watched it. My mom and dad loved Kiss.
Yeah, the theater.
I had pretty young parents. So.
Apparently, the theater owner said, "You know what? I got an idea." He put it on at midnight. The freaking movie became a hit. It was like, my God, how did you? What? Because it would only. I think it was the same year that Rocky Horror came out too.
Yeah.
So it was great.
It may have been. I don't honestly know. I was young.
Yeah, you were 4.
I know you were in high school, but I was.
I was. Oh hell, I was 12. I was in.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I was in junior high. I wasn't that old. So
he's only about 40 years older than me, is all.
No. God, folks, I'm 50. Okay, I don't have trouble saying it. I'm 50.
Well, I'm nowhere near 50. So.
I'm 50 in this life. Let's put it that way.
I'm in my early 40s. So.
I'm celebrating my 30th anniversary of my 20th birthday. People out there are going 30, carry the one. Is it?
I've heard him tell it before, so
I know.
I don't got to do the math.
I know. You get all the old jokes. I'm trying to come up with new ones, man. I got to go out and try them in the clubs or something.
I tell you new ones all the time, but you've grown at the ones I tell.
Well, yeah, because, God, do you have any you can put on air that are family friendly?
I think I might be able to arrange that. Let me keep talking for a minute. Let me open my brain for a second here.
Some of the jokes, we're on the phone and she can tell when I roll my eyes.
Yeah, I hear the tone of his voice.
Yeah.
And he's like,
okay.
Okay, why do bees have sticky hair?
Why do bees have sticky hair?
Because they use honeycombs.
Oh, God. Now that one's funny. That one's funny. Yeah, that one's cool.
Why are pianos hard to open?
Why are pianos hard to open?
Because the keys are inside.
Because the keys are okay. That one's a good one. I'm not rolling my eyes on that one. That was good.
Every once in a while, I can think of a couple of them that are not going to make you roll your eyes. But there's other ones that you just groan at me.
I know.
Really? Did you just tell me that
joke? Was that worthy of your breath? I mean, seriously.
Oh, and my brother, he has a very religious friend, and he likes when I tell him these jokes, because he can tell for them, and they're not, off color, they don't offend her. And my doctor, he had likes these same dumb jokes, too.
Oh, God.
So he's like, let's hear it whenever I go into the office.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know.
What type of shoes does Spies wear?
What? Oh, sneakers.
Yay! Got it!
Finally got.
Yay!
Yeah,
Why can't a leopard hide?
Why can't a leopard hide?
Because Because he's always spotted.
Okay, that one's good. Where are you getting these? I'm wondering.
I jot them down when I hear them.
Oh, okay. Somebody in the Spreaker chat for that, I don't know which one, but he says, I got to use that one. Good, use them. Yes, go, please. Spread the humor. You know.
When do you go at red and stop at green?
When do you go at red and stop at green?
When you're eating a watermelon.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay, you're in Rare Farm. I can just see you.
What do basketballs and babies have in common?
I'm afraid to ask.
They both dribble.
Wouldn't that be old people? Oh my God! See, I can see you on stage just coming up, going, "I'm going to try these out, folks. If you laugh, it's okay. If not, it's okay. Just leave the money in the tip jar. It's okay." But I've done stand up. It's hard as hell, man.
Oh,
it is.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm more. I like to be more naturally funny.
Oh, the guy St. Clinton in the Spreaker chat says, "What's the difference between a cat and a kitten?"
I don't know.
A little pussy never hurt anyone. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, sorry. You made me snort, dude.
Oh, that is.
I'm crying.
Funny. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could do a whole show of just those dumb jokes, one right after the other, and make Wayne cry.
Yeah, it's my brother, man. I swear to goodness, he comes up. I mean, he hears all these trucker jokes. My dad, drove truck for 35 years, and I can't remember a damn one of them. I can't.
Oh, yeah, my brother was a trucker.
Oh,
The
yeah.
filthier the joke, the more he wanted to come, and tell me the joke.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And I had a dad who was in the military.
Oh, God, those are bad. I've heard those. I was in the military. We won't go there. But yeah, it's so anyway. Let's. He said something else. Okay, yeah, he laughed at that one. That's cool. Okay, that's funny.
I got a million of them.
I got a million of them, I tell you. I got a million of them. I go to the Catskills and tell them all. Anyway. Okay, a little self-promotion here. For all you listeners out there, you probably heard the promo. Looking for voice actors for some projects I'm working on. And I do voice work, and speaking of which, yes, if you want to hire me, that's cool. I'm looking...
Yeah, that way you can actually say you do voice work instead of saying, I'd like to do mine.
Exactly, yeah, because
you do it, but you don't get paid for it right now.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And we can negotiate the contract. But yeah, I do voiceover work. I've done it before, actually, when I was in California. Very little. And I didn't get paid for it, but
yeah,
if you...
I did some I actually did get paid for when I worked for the department store that's now defunct, but I was, the voice of the department store. So.
Yeah, you were the voice of the department store.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I talked about credit card, you'd hear the voiceover ads in the store, talk about credit cards or sales or whatever. It'd be me.
Yeah, give us a little.
Of course, you want me when my voice is off. If you'd like to save 25% today after your total bill, please see us and one of the lovely associates up at our service desk, and we'll be happy to help you with that.
Yay! Here's $5. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was amazed when I was in high school. I was doing all kinds of different voices, and somebody goes, you need to do that for a living. I'm going, I got to eat.
Well, I wish people could hear some of the, just you and me goofing around, some of the voices that we do.
It's all right.
Your poor fiancée, man. Then you make me tell her the stuff that I said to make you laugh, and poor girl's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what she thinks. I really don't.
So you have a really bizarre friend who lives in Michigan. who makes you laugh until you almost pee yourself and you beg her to quit, and she keeps going because she wants you to dribble a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. Just kidding. Yeah, I've only been to that extreme once.
I've made you sick, though, laughing before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do get to the point where I'm like gasping for air, going, you know,
and then I feel bad.
Yeah, it's not fun. But I recover quite nicely. You know, I'm kind of like, okay, keep going. You know, so. But yeah, a little shameless self-promotion. The views expressed, we have been in overdrive for a half hour, so anyway, you can catch the show Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It goes usually for 2 hours. And tonight, hopefully, cross my fingers, we will be doing a show tonight, hopefully. And I don't know, so I'm just laying it out there. I don't know. So if there is a show, I'll put it up on Spreaker and up on Facebook, and we'll go from there. Right. If not, let's do a show tomorrow or Sunday.
Right. Yeah, so I can't promise if you do one tonight that I'll be there because my nose is really stuffy.
Yeah, so we'll do one Sunday unless you have no voice, and then.
Yeah, well, with the voice, it's I'm going to sound like I'll snot.
You'll be, yeah, not really good, it's okay.
Yeah, don't have the voice that, everybody says sounds like a phone sex operator.
Yeah, I was supposed to have it.
Sound like Harvey Firestein.
Hey, it's okay. Yeah, I was supposed to have Angel Clark on the day after Thanksgiving, but I decided to take the day off. She goes, no problem at all. Enjoy your vacation. I go, thank you. So... yeah, I took 2 days off because I just took 2 days off.
You need to because your voice, you doing a show every day, your voice gets you.
Yeah.
You're hoping to make your voice your bread and butter, you got to take care of it.
Yeah, speaking of the show, speaking of the views expressed, I am looking for a guest host. Views expressed, it's political, my opinions, that kind of thing, but whoever the guest host is, they can manage to do whatever it is they want to do. They can talk about anything they want. So it's
I
the
could
views.
come in and talk about how boys are duty heads, and that'd be okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Boys
They're not, by the way, men. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
in theory.
Girls have cooties.
Awesome.
Girls have cooties, so, what can I say? Hey, somebody walked in the door. Yeah. No. Diana from Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show walked in, so we don't know if there's going to be a show tonight. Just saying, we don't know yet. We haven't gotten dinner. We get this stuff like that. So anyway. Anyway, yes, I need a guest host for the show because, yes, I have to save my voice. Because every once in a while I stop the show and I'm going, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like I've been eating gravel and sucking down mud, so it's not fun. But, and that's why sometimes I sit away from the microphone and kind of project, not kind of, but I do project. I go back to my theater training and yeah, after a while, 2 hours of that every day, you're like, so, but anyway, hey, we're going to get out of here now. You can email us here at the show at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com, Liberty and Freedom Network, or go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook, like the page, and all that. And the website link is there as well, so check that out. And also, if you want to email me personally, you can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. And where can they get a hold of you?
mysticalcow@hotmail.com. Yes, I have a show called The Mystical Cow Show.
Yes.
Another thing, I'm not calling myself a mystical cow. Don't milk me.
Yeah. I don't plan on it.
I knew you weren't, but I was just putting that out there that, if somebody tries to milk me, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah, you can get a hoof in the butt. That's the way you're going to get.
Exactly. A busted hoof in your ass.
Exactly. But the Mystical Cow Show is, you're developing it now. So.
Yeah, well, I've done it in the past, and I'm trying to decide, what network I want to do it on, yada, yada, yada. I'll probably more at the beginning of the year, when I have a little bit more in the area of funds.
Yeah, Spreaker. It's half the price and a lot better.
Yeah, but I don't like it because you don't have a number for people to call in. And I don't like Skype.
I went to the forum for Spreaker, and they said, I'm seeing a lot. People are saying the same thing. They're like, can we have a switchboard of some sort, And they're going, yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, okay. They just now, last week, updated or upgraded the DJ console, and so that's a little bit better. But again, give us some phone lines, people. And what they're looking at is Spreaker is looking at doing that, but they don't want to pass on the cost to the host, and that's what they're looking at. They're going, how can we do this? Because it's only $20 for 3 hours, folks. And here's the difference between Blog Talk and Spreaker. Over there at Blog Talk, one day, boom, you're done. Okay, you do a 2-hour show, done until the next day. Here at Spreaker, you can do a 3-hour show, and then 5 minutes later, regroup, come back on, and do another 3-hour show.
Which he's done.
Which I've done, yeah. So, no big deal. So anyway, hey, we're going to get out of here now. Again, mysticalcow@hotmail.com.
Yes, so, they're all lowercase.
All lowercase, and Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. So, hey, yeah, we're going to go away now. So, thank you for calling in and being funny. So, anyway, yes, this is the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. And remember, we the people have the power, for we are America.